Well, good morning. It's Rockin' Larry Locken coming to you from the Oregon coast. I've been a contactee of the Pleiadians for, close to 16 years now. And every so often I do a little talk discussing what exactly their purpose is, or to the best of my understanding, their purpose is in helping humanity on this ascensionary growth path that the planet's on, as well as the entire collective and individuals in that collective as well. The Pleiadians, first and foremost, would like for you to think of them as a metaphor. Okay, yes, it's true. They are a star cluster full of many different human races like ours, but all on higher dimensional planes. Okay, but first and foremost, they would like for you to think of them as a metaphor. A metaphor for what could be great about humanity. When people on a mass scale choose a unity consciousness perspective over an individual consciousness perspective. When they choose the route of going towards empathy instead of sympathy, being more responsive instead of reactive, prevention instead of crisis mode all the time, putting out fires, so to speak. The Pleiadians are all about the individualism and the unity-based consciousness perspective being one and the same. A society where everybody accentuates each other's talents, lifts everybody else up. And when you do that for everybody else, everybody gives that back to you. You're talking about a society where there is no lack. Abundance and resources reign supreme. Water, food, energy, all that sort of stuff that we look at as a luxury in a lot of places on this planet. A society without greed. Abundance and resources reign supreme. All the human races of the Pleiades were at the same point that we are now as Earth humans on our evolutionary growth path. They were all at one point in similar situations, whether it was in their own individual ascension path or whether it was part of the overall collective of the planetary system that they happened to reside in. They were in the same boat. Lots of ego going on, lots of power struggles, lots of wars, all that sort of stuff. Depleting resources, greed running amok. But the Pleiadians have shared with me that it's not as hard as we might think to turn that corner. It's just a matter of having that empathy for your fellow man. That doesn't mean be a doormat either. The Pleiadians said that was one thing that they really had to learn as well. Once they got to the point of listening to others and understanding others and fully taking that on and embracing it, they also had to make sure that they learned and embraced how to stand in their own power and how to stick up for themselves, both from an individual as well as a collective consciousness standpoint. Striking this balance, both as individuals as well as an overall collective, was absolutely vital for their societies to finally turn that corner from war, infighting, strife, struggling, power, ego, greed, and turning it into an overall feeling of love, peace, and prosperity amongst the collective. One that stood the test of time, one that allowed them to stop squabbling with each other and look at each other for their own individual gifts and get full of that feeling of loving each other and working towards that better next now moment. They were able to do that. In the process, the infighting stopped, the civil wars stopped, the power-hungry personalities subsided for personalities of love and positivity, and just the betterment of their fellow individual soul in general. So from the collective consciousness center of the Milky Way galaxy, of course the Pleiades, they would like for you to think of them first and foremost as a metaphor. Again, a metaphor for all that could be great with humanity. They are there as an ascended human race of many different ascended human races to help guide us through this and be sort of a big brother race to us, like other races were to them, to get them through their trials and tribulations. It's all about paying it forward. They've also informed me that there will be a point when Earth helps another planetary system on their ascensionary growth path. It's just how the existence works, to keep things in order.